In a world where clicks, likes, follows, share, comments, and views are all part of a new currency, we decided to wander around and see if this world will meet our satisfaction. But the end was a sight that we never anticipated. Hi, we are the Dunder Brothers, and this is the story of how we ended ourselves.
Don't jump now. Let's go!
The fame goes up and down. Our story in general, it's been a lot of crazy events, but from experiencing this part, I never felt this type of depression, because everything was going so smoothly. Like we were so famous. When I tell you we were famous, in our city we were like known. Every time we were coming out of our house, we were like always recognized. But after we went to that city called Rodez in Europe, we tried out for a team there. We were so happy just to get to receive our first kind of opportunity to play pro. But we didn't know much about the system. We were always stuck together. We were trying to get our contract together because we were so close, me and my brothers. We were trying to do everything together. But the system in Europe is so different, and we didn't know about it. And we came just to get a contract, but we were already 3 guards coming as strangers, and they only accept, I believe, 2 strangers in teams in Europe in general.
You said, Rodez, and from my experience, Rodez was really a military, experience, because we were out there just in small places and just doing push-up outside. Was really like the lowest of hotel in quality, everything. It was like a really hit on the wall.
And then, without knowing the rules and without knowing how the system was back then, we just decided to pull up in that team. We tried out. We were trying out for this team. We did everything we could. We played great, and we did provide some results, but we were, as I said, 3 guards, and they already had their guards. Just to fast forward, things didn't go as planned. We stayed there for like 3 months, living in a hotel, paying every day for trying to get that contract. We stayed there for 3 months, paying kind of a rent, but it was more than a rent because hotels are really expensive in Europe. That's because we didn't have the money. We were always depending on the family. We were like trying to get everything without getting a job and then getting our own money. We were always depending on the family. And that really sucks. It really worked on my mind, and my brothers, we were like really looking back, and we were trying to figure out where everything went wrong.
And then coming back home after all these things happening, Rodez, we almost stayed for COVID. I think it was at Tanya in France, but God made us go through before COVID happened, and then we came back to a little bit of joy, but then everything started going downhill.
So that was really a dark phase of our life, because when COVID-19 came, everything went dark for everybody.
China has identified the cause of the
mysterious new virus.
Coronavirus.
coronavirus.
There are fears a rapidly spreading virus has reached Australia.
This is a rapidly emerging situation where there is not a cause for alarm.
The first US case has been detected.
There's confirmation the coronavirus has reached Australia.
China is urging its citizens not to travel abroad as it struggles to contain the virus.
We will be standing up Christmas Island as a quarantine area.
Foreign nationals coming from China are now banned from entering the country.
I have today declared that the coronavirus presents a public health emergency in the United States.
But for us, everything went south, really south. Everything went down. We couldn't do nothing. We didn't have nothing to do. Like Easy said and just said, the sin everywhere. We just watching sin. I want to say just watching sin because like we've been praying every time. We just focus on God. We didn't went out like do everything like everybody does, like go partying and stuff like that. We didn't do none of that. But when you're alone in your room at home and think about what's next and you got nothing to do, hey, knock, Mr. Sins.
We train. Sometimes we train mostly every day. But then when nothing happens, with everything happening in Rodez and the downfall with everything, you start like, falling to depression and distraction, and there's like that void in you where that leads you to addiction and to like, explicit content and like, porn, all these addiction that can come, and especially on social media, Instagram, TikTok, whatever, there's always like little things, or when you watch a movie, or some people are into like anime, there's gonna be distraction everywhere, and you, especially since we are like a family where we are disciplined and, consecrated for God since young, but these things started to like amplify, especially in that time where everything was heavy and down, like of all these things happening in our life. So everything got worse, and the distraction, lust, of all these things on the phone. Yeah, to fill that void, and especially in times where everything is dark, and even with all this happening, you are already distant from God, and this happening is even worse, and you don't hear from God, and then you mad that things are not happening your way, and then you fall again, and then you feel even more. It's like a cycle of getting worse and going back into these thoughts and sin and regrets and things not happening the way you want, and then lack of this or lack of that or lack of money or this. And yeah, that's where everything is, going the different route that we didn't expect.
But God has a plan, and when you have a vision, you will act crazy sometimes, but He knows that He has to build your character, but you have to put everything in His hand and just trust that He has a plan. But you have to also build your character and change for Him to be able to, not Him, but for you to be a good tool in His hand. And after we came back home from that trip, we didn't get the contract. We got back home, and then we were so depressed. We were stuck with COVID, and everybody was stuck in their home. Nobody was out. There was nothing to do. We were always training. But even before that, we took like 2 or 3 weeks without doing anything, stuck in our room. We were so depressed. We didn't want to do anything. And that's a part of the story when we really got away a little bit from God. We were like asking God, why? Why did you bring us to that place just to make us fumble? But we realized that it was a process, and we took a break. We were like away from everything just to focus on healing. But that part of the story didn't go as planned. It was like the beginning of up, down, up, down, up, down for like more than 3 years.
Like I said, like all the trial, like we talk about, like we did good, but like crazy stuff happened. We didn't know why. They didn't want us to succeed. After that, God put us in the big stage, so we played for the national team. We didn't play for them, but like we went over there, we showcased ourselves, we practiced with the team, and thank God, I was on the roster at the last moment. And for me, I thought I was about to play my first national game. I was ready, so hype. My boys were hype for me, because like easy say, like if somebody like even though the only easy play for national, I would be happy. I didn't care. I said, yo God, that's only the start for us. But at the last moment, the GM for the national team came to me. It was like, Eli, you can't play. I was like, what? you guys told me I'm on the roster. What happened? He said, I don't know. Like you not like eligible to play. So I don't know why. They called they had a phone call with the person. Like we did like for a month ago. Like we called FIBA Canada, and they told us like everything is good. So they called after that FIBA Central Africa. Everything was good, clear out. We were supposed to play. I don't understand what happened.
There's a verse that I always read when I'm struggling with love. It says, having canceled the charge of our legal indebtedness, which stood against us and condemned us, he has taken it away, nailing it to the cross. So there's a power behind the sacrifice of Jesus. And if you're trying by yourself to succeed, you will never be able to find peace, and you'll never be able to really have a purposeful life. And you know, we all know that men struggling with lust. And the devil is just waiting for a bad situation and a bad time for you just to attack. And that time in our life was especially that period of January to March, it was so hard. We were trying so bad to really succeed and help our family grow financially. We were like always depending on them, and we didn't like it. So from time to time, we were always sad, and we couldn't find peace in any type of things that we were doing for the Lord, because we were concentrated on other stuff, our goal. And that, because of these priorities that we set before the priorities that God put in our heart, we couldn't find peace any type of way. But that verse always delivers me when I'm stuck in that sin. The first time that we really got addicted to, not as crazy, but from time to time we were falling down. But I thank God for my parents. I thank God for my sister, because even if one is weak, if there's two that are strong and remain in prayer and remain close to God, God will never let that person that is weak stay down. And I thank God for the prayer life that my mom, my dad, my sisters always prioritize, and us too, because we were born in a family of Christian. But that doesn't mean that it will set you up really for life. You have to build that relationship. And because prior to that, we knew about the sacrifice that we made before and the vow that we made for Jesus to really live in us. It really brings us back to, He is the priority. He is the only one that can give you peace. And by accepting that, we let go of our goal, we let go of our priorities and to focus on Him. And we were able to be delivered from that.
The thing we realized that when we have nothing, Jesus is the only way. And we learned it the hard way. That was really hard for us to learn it, but with with my mom, my dad, my sister was keeping praying every time, and us also was kept praying every time, every single day. We just realized that Jesus was the only way. And everybody know, He gave His life on the cross for us to have a better life. Because everything He did for us is just for us to have a better view for what is next, for the new chapter was for us. But we couldn't realize that since that time. And also, when you're too much attached on little things in life, God sometimes just want to take it out. And for you to realize that you got to come to Him. And when you realize that, He gives you more than what you ever have. But for us, we were too attached on fame and everything. And God need to make us learn the hard way. So that was a bad for a good thing at the same time, because after that, everything bloomed again. Fame came back. We still have like call for other events we didn't think we could have. Also like Hoops on the Rise, come that us back again. We did like couple of events where we didn't think about like we could do it again, because everything was dark. Also the national team. For me, I was like, I give up on playing basketball overseas. Since that time, I was just focused on maybe like dunking and stuff, work on my bounce, work on my stuff. But after that, like for nowhere, I didn't play on none team, like non-professional team. The national team came to me, to my dad, and say, "What's up? You guys want to come and do one trial for the national team?" I was like, "Wow, that's crazy." We went over there, and we did what we couldn't think of we could have done. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Nice penetration, good catch. Dodon gets to the far side of the ring and gets the two, gets a little help to get up.
Important it is to go for the offensive rebounds. Great job, pass! We'll see another time for Elliot, but missed. And that's an easy fast break for Central African Republic, and Dondon easy too.
Penetrates, drops it down, turns it over. Off to the races going the other way. Should be an easy two and foul. Wait. Took off, gets the foul. Half on a real high. You're gonna get a layup. Oh my word. Put an exclamation mark under that first half. Force is a tough one. They look long. That's gonna get stolen. Nope, they recover it. Wow.
These were the blessings that we were seeking before COVID. We wanted to play pro, we wanted to tell our story, tell the world that we succeeded, and then when we let go and we let God, we didn't force anything, we didn't seek any opportunity, that's when God was like, yeah, I'm gonna give you guys this because I feel like you guys are ready. And we felt like, God, you're playing with us. We're like, when we needed it, you never give it to us. But then when we are not seeking all those blessings, that's when you pull up and say, I'm gonna give you guys this because I feel like you're ready. But this is how God works. It's so mysterious. Sometimes you feel like you're ready and you're not. And then after that, that trip that we did to Kigali, after 5 months, I was able to sign my first contract in Espoir, BBC at the basketball club. So after I signed my first contract overseas, I was so happy. I started like connecting with a lot of people. I was able to find my first cameraman. Shout out to him, his name is Tamrat. If you see this, stay blessed, my guy. With him, I was able to record all my games, and from there, I just started posting on IG because I wanted the world, like since high school, that was my dream, to let the world know what's up with my journey. And I remember the first game I dunked on somebody, I posted him, and I was so happy because I finally was able to get an highlight from a pro season. And the season was up and down. It was my first season. I was struggling with the number of practices, but I was able to finally show the world that all the work that I did. And even Eli from his side, he was able to prove the world that he succeeded. He finally got to his goal. Playing pro was the dream, and then we did it. And after being more active on that Instagram, that's when I really starting to like learn the world of Instagram, learning the basics. Like I didn't understand the algorithm at first, but I was focused on playing my season and also focused on promoting myself on IG and sharing my journey. And it became a little bit frustrating because the numbers were not giving. I was struggling with likes, the number of likes, the number of shares. I was trying to get more engagement. So I was dealing with my season and also dealing with the Instagram issues. But after 3-4 months, the engagement was there. I was building a community. I had more fans, and I was bringing a lot of numbers. And it was a slippery slope because it's a good thing to gain views, but you became a little bit more addicted, and I was falling a little bit back into addiction. I was depending on how the people were looking at me, the views, and I wanted to grow my IG. And this is the reason why I call this chapter the how I ended myself, and for my brothers as well, because my flesh was too strong. And I thought I dealt with that even before, but it was still there. My old nature was battling to be promoted and be seen, and I wanted the world to know me. And God, that's not what He was playing for me. He wants to be the priorities, like the priority. And I was putting my priorities before God's priorities. And the more I was gaining views, the more I was gaining followers, it was cool, but I was kind of living like a double life. In IG, people view me as a content creator, and I wanted the world to see any type of content, just because I was trying to please everybody who was going on my profile. But outside of IG, I was preaching the gospel. I'm a musician for my church, so I'm invested in my church, in my ministry. And I was kind of living a double life, and God didn't like it. And slowly, I was compromising myself. The more I was seeking validation from the world, the more the void was getting bigger. And I was finally able to obtain 200K followers. And that's really when there's been a big switch. There was nothing in me that was satisfied. I thought I did it. I thought I was there. I thought I accomplished it. I'm like 200K now. But I was like, what else? And I couldn't feel that void. I was still empty. And with all that, I was falling into any type of temptation. I was distracted. I was getting far away from God. And my dad took a time with me because I was dealing with something, and my mom, they took a time with me to discuss about these priorities that I had. And they challenged my heart. They said, you have to give up on everything and try to go for a day of 3 days of fasting and prayer. And that was the biggest challenge of this year, and that was in 2025. After all 2 years of grinding on IG, I was like, this is my career, if you want to call it. And I didn't want to let go, but I felt like every time I achieved the goal, I was still empty. And I took the challenge, I did it, I just put everything aside. I decided to just end my flesh. And that's why I said this chapter is about ending myself. Because I didn't want to live just to seek the validation of the world and then depend on how the world will view me. But I just wanted to really change and be able to use that platform on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook just to preach the gospel. And I was struggling so much because my priorities were so high above God's priority that I didn't know how to stop my priorities, stop my will. But after the 3 days of fasting, didn't drink, didn't eat, I was praying for 3 days in a specific place. God visited me and he said, I'm going to use you in a way that you will not be able to free yourself from me. I will be stuck living in accordance to his will. And he showed me this project that I'm doing with my brothers right now, telling you the story about how we ended ourselves. Because when you feel like you bend God's will to your perspective, that's when you're missing everything and you will fall into a deep hole. That would be so hard to come out because you think you're doing it the best way and the right way, and it is not. But I thank God for these 7 days that I took away from everything, fasting and praying, because God broke my flesh. He destroyed it. And I'm not gonna lie, I had verse prepared for this, but I'm just going by the Spirit right now. And I want to challenge whoever is watching this video, because it's not even about yourself and about myself. If you want to really serve God, you have to live a life of sacrifice, and this is the hardest part of being a Christian. And I'm not even saying Christian because Christian is just a term that has been used for decades, but a child of God is, and a son of God and daughters of God are what we are really. And I want to challenge you guys, because we often prioritize our stuff, our daily desire, and we fall into the same mistakes every time. After a while, we get even further away from God without even realizing it. But when I took these 7 days of fasting and prayer, I really met God. I was able to understand what I did wrong. And now I find a peace that ever since I came out of this, I was a different person. I was so changed that I was able to even delete all my posts that I made about that was gaining a lot of views and a lot of followers. And even down, if my followers are going downhill, it doesn't matter, because I know who I serve and I know what I'm called to be and what I'm called to do on this planet. And I want to be able to share my testimony with my brothers. That's what we did. We took everything and pushed it away. So all the dreams, all the goals that we had ever since we started this in high school, we took everything and gave it all up to God, just to show God that nothing really belongs to us. We are used by Him. We are just tools in His hand. And that's why I call this video why we ended ourselves. Because the reason why is to be able to be used by the God Almighty. And this is the beauty of living a life of sacrifice. And I bless God, because when you don't know what to do, He always does. And that's why you need to follow Him, because we are failing. We are not able to be our own leader. And that's why I want to challenge you guys. If you see this, consider giving everything up for the cause of the kingdom, to save souls, to be a testimony, to really attract people and use all the platforms, all the tools, all the talents, all the gifts that you have in order to save souls and be useful to God. And this is the reason why we did this video. If you are new to this channel, subscribe, share this video, share it with someone, a family member, a friend, cousin, whoever. But let the world know that you want to be changed, and your people, the people around you, can also be changed by God. But you have to submit your ways, submit everything, and live according to God's will. This is my testimony and the testimony of my brothers, and I want to be able to spread the good news with whoever is seeing this right now. break your limits. And this is the conclusion of this video. Stay blessed, much love. And we're gonna keep you guys updated for the next videos. Stay blessed.
Bring me my food, man. Let's start the thing, man. You gotta start, man.
Est-ce que t'as filmé?
No, YouTube doesn't allow it. You can't punch. They don't want to see anybody else.
Bleu.
Non, je veux pas bleu. Si je monte tout.
Je veux pas bleu.
Je veux pas bleu, je veux jaune.
C'est bleu. Non, je veux pas bleu.
Je veux pas bleu, je veux jaune. Oh man. Fallait que je lâche parce que sinon j'allais trop. It's been maybe 3 years. Wait a second. T'as dit quoi?
Yo, the brightness is really strong. La brightness, ça va là.
Hey, man.
Attends, encore.
Put my